Yuuki and Damrada were deep in a fierce battle, exchanging one blow, then another for what seemed like the millionth time. Without hesitation, Damrada aimed a spinning back blow at a pressure point on Yuuki's face. It was blocked with the palm. Yuuki attempted to gain control of Damrada's wrist, but he was denied as his opponent unleashed a chop to hold him back. Yuuki, anticipating this, twisted his upper body back as he executed a double kick. But Damrada was quick to pick up on it, sinking down and sweeping with his leg. Then his opponent jumped up, perhaps reading this counter in advance, and tried to take his head off with a spinning kick. However, Yuuki's leg cut through thin air. Damrada was back on his feet a safe distance away. It was a sophisticated, refined exchange of martial arts that went beyond the scope of what human beings could maneuver. They kept rattling them off, again and again, at a pace so regular that they almost seemed to be in a training session. But they were going too fast for the normal human eye to follow. The lack of spectators was a pity, but then again, they'd have trouble rounding up an audience with the skills required to watch and appreciate them. He was a battle between dedicated masters, fought only with their own well-honed bodies. But that wasn't all that was taking place. Yuuki was also trying to communicate with Damrada not with speech, but through telepathy. Damrada, in turn, was trying to help Yuuki with that. That's why there was so much unnecessary physical contact. When they went hand against hand for an instant, that's when they were exchanging messages. Wow, we're finally connected, huh? I didn't expect you to gain an ultimate skill as well, Damrada. You had no idea how much trouble I had opening a telepathy link to you. Have you had this since we met, perhaps? It was borrowed, Sir Yuuki, but yes, I've been in possession of it for as long as we've known each other. I don't use it very often, however, so I doubt you would have noticed. Yuuki couldn't help but snicker at this. When he awakened to his own ultimate skill, only then did he realize the mind-boggling difference between them and regular unique skills. Still, there was something in Damrada's reply that he couldn't gloss over. Borrowed? What do you mean? Skills like these were, by nature, acquired by yourself. Some people could craft them like Yuuki, but they couldn't just be conjured out of nothing. They were using their own desires to change the form of the power within their soul. It wasn't something that could be borrowed. I mean exactly what I said. My power was granted to me by His Majesty. Is it even possible? I understand your skepticism, but you have me as a witness to it. You'll have to accept that it is possible, yes. I see. Fair point. Having it phrased that way, Yuuki had no choice but to accept it. That naturally led to his next question. So can he just pass on skills to anybody he wants? Oh, no. Damrada smiled. The average person does not have the capacity to obtain even a unique skill, much less an ultimate one. Simply accepting that power requires an enormous amount of energy. You'd need to be completely remade, the way otherworlders are, to pull it off. Well, that's a relief. I was worried the Emperor was holding a close-out sale on ultimate skills. Ha ha ha. No, he hasn't managed it yet. It's one of his objectives, however. Yuuki could accept that. And that's why he's gathering all these strong people. Precisely. Humans, too, can evolve after enough training. Their entire species changes, and they become enlightened. As a saint, Sir Yuuki, I believe you know the process. Pretty much, yeah. He had a general understanding. Humans can go from enlightened to sainthood, and that took more than regular old training. Even the 10 great saints, deemed the strongest in the Western nations, had just 2 real saints among them, Hinata and Sar. Only upon becoming enlightened can one break free from the framework of humanity, where they must live among their own kind. They remain an individual, but also gain the ability to connect with the world at large. Those who reach that stage here become imperial guardians, having passed the minimum requirements His Majesty has put in place. Being enlightened's the minimum requirement. Yes, that's right. If you fought against Gi, Sir Yuuki, then you understood just how strong he was, I assume. Even a saint could never beat him. Yeah, I'll grant you that. Gi was simply unassailable. That much was made perfectly clear, taking him on. No half-assed attempt would even touch him. If you want to defeat Gi, as an absolute minimum, you must awaken to the ultimate in force. An ultimate skill, in other words. It made sense to Yuuki. That came across more strongly to him, now that he had an ultimate skill of his own. The only way to tackle someone with an ultimate was to break out an ultimate of your own. Exactly. His Majesty is familiar with this as well. That is why he grants trials to those who are enlightened, to help them awaken further and become vessels worthy enough of the ultimate skill he can give them. Sounds pretty crazy. But if I were him, I'd do the same thing, I guess. I'm glad you understand so quickly. Yuuki and Damrada smiled at each other. It might be completely illogical to the average person, but Yuuki saw the reasoning behind it. Once you had the methodology down, it could allow you to collect a large number of people with ultimate skills. He disliked how someone else beat him to the idea, but he had to admit to his charms. The only problem with it was that it required someone as uniquely qualified as Lidora to engineer. The fact that Lidora can grant ultimate powers at all is just amazing. He. Yes, it proves his greatness beyond any doubt. And if you become a saint under his tutelage, His Majesty will grant you the ultimate skill alternative. Damrada's telepathic voice sounded proud to Yuuki. He could feel the respect Damrada held for Emperor Ludor, and it made him laugh a little. Damrada might have been loyal to Yuuki still, but his feelings for the Emperor were a different matter. Yuuki knew this was the case, although he really wished Damrada hated a little more. Of course, he normally never made that kind of mistake, so Yuuki assumed he was acting this way on purpose right now. So is Ludor waging this war in order to awaken more of his knights? I suppose he would be. Our previous war was stymied by interference from Ludor, but that was a blessing in disguise. A few people evolved into enlightened in the process, so we gained even more power than we lost. Talk about patience, an impressed and jealous Yuuki thought. So the two of them shared thoughts with each other through telepathy as they fought, or sparred, or whatever. Finally, Yuuki managed to break through the last of Damrada's psychological barriers. Oh, here we go. I found the core of the power controlling you. Ah, wonderful to hear. Do you think you can remove it? Yeah, no problems there. But if I do, won't Kondo find out? I imagine he will, yes, but I'm not sure I care. Well, here we go, then. They hadn't been sparring for no reason. Damrada knew about Yuuki's anti-skill ability, and he believed it could overcome the thrall that Kondo put upon him. Yuuki was aware of that as well, and without any further instruction, he had spent the past while probing Damrada. Now he would use the new power awakened in him to bring his friend back to normal. Mammon, Lord of Greed, the ultimate skill Yuuki, had acquired specialized in seizing things. It contained the ability Lifestealer, for example, which sapped energy on contact. Using it allowed Yuuki to deal damage simply by punching and having it blocked. The exact type of energy taken magical, physical depended on the opponent, but whatever it was, Yuuki could take it and use it for himself. Lifestealer didn't work on Damrada, however. He had too much strength, and even under Kondo's control, he still maintained that strength in the best possible condition. Regardless of his mind's intentions, his body was doing the best it could to interfere with Yuuki. That was thanks to Alternative, the ultimate gift provided by the Emperor. This skill protected his very soul, an impenetrable psychological barrier that nullified any kind of spiritual attack. This was combined with absolute physical destructive skills that could penetrate all defenses. Put them together, and Damrada had become an undefeated champion in every way. Kondo was able to control him because the Dominion bullets the Emperor gave him were devised to be higher level than Alternative. If Damrada had learned Alternative naturally instead of receiving it as a gift, his body never would have been taken over. It was a real obstacle, and Yuuki had to use anti-skill to the hell to break down the barriers. In time, though, he found the Dominion bullet lodged in his soul, and once he had Damrada's permission, he instantly focused his power on it. Lifestealer. The bottom of Yuuki's palm struck Damrada's chest. The precisely controlled blow shattered only the bullet and nothing else. It seemed so anticlimactic, but now Damrada was free once more. Thank you, Sir Yuuki. Yeah. Hope you can stop relying on others like that for a while. I'm worried about Kagali's group, though. I gotta go, but what are you gonna do? Let me join you. I need to speak with the Demon Lord Rimuru tomorrow regardless. We'll be proceeding with the coup right after that, so it'd be too dangerous to return to where Kondo is. True. No need to try patching things up now, is there? Yuuki laughed. Damrada joined him. Ready to go, then? By all means. He turned around and headed for the door, Damrada nodding and following along. But just then. So why were you playing with this outside element instead of taking care of him, Damrada? You weren't seriously planning to betray His Majesty, were you? The cold voice made Yuuki too nervous to move. The real crisis was only beginning. Without a sound, before anyone knew what happened, she was standing right there. Her presence was overwhelmingly strong, her hair blue, her face beautiful. It'd be the first time they met, but Yuuki felt he already knew this figure from somewhere. The figure of the one on the other side of the curtain, seated next to the Emperor the Marshal. La Lady Valgrant. Damrada's whisper sounded bizarrely loud. Valgrant. Does he mean? At that moment, Yuuki realized his face was too tensed up to move. A true dragon, the strongest creature in the world. Now she was before him, their powers beyond compare. This sure ain't good. I didn't sense this when I saw Valdor, but with her, it's not even a question of winning or losing. Fighting someone like her head-on would just be suicide. But despite that realization, Yuuki refused to give up. If a head-on confrontation was doomed to fail, simply find a backdoor, and Yuuki had the perfect special move for that. Play his cards right, he thought, and victory seemed possible enough. I never would have guessed Her Excellency the Marshal was a true dragon all along. Now I understand why Guy hasn't made a move yet. My. How unusual for a human. I admire you for not losing your nerve around me. Thanks. And by the way, it'd be really great if you could let me go. What do you think? That's fine by me. I don't have any business with you. My dear husband does. Valgrant took a step back. And only then did Yuuki notice the other man present. His eyes opened wide. Standing next to Velgren was a man in an extravagant outfit that was no doubt worth an astronomical amount of money. Yuuki knew his face well. Masayuki. Nah, no way it's him. Or... To Yuuki, this man had to be Masayuki's identical twin, but he noticed a few differences. The most notable one was the hair color. The man before him had shining blonde hair, and while Masayuki usually dyed his blonde, his natural color was the standard black of most Japanese people. Looking more closely, he could sense differences in the eyes, too. Masayuki's were always either darting around or just kind of blank, unthinking, but this man looked like he could see through everything. It almost felt like those eyes could consume you if you weren't careful. No way were they the same person. Guess not, huh? Now reasonably sure of that, Yuuki then realized who the man really was. If Velgren called him her husband, that left only one candidate. Emperor Ludor. That's right, Sir Yuuki. This is His Majesty, Emperor Ludor, the ruler standing at the peak of the empire. Damrada provided the reply. He was on his knees already, not even caring if he got his clothes dirty. He urgently wanted to prove to Ludor that he bore no animosity. Yuuki couldn't blame him. He knew how much more Ludor meant to him. The real issue at hand. Why was Ludor here at all? Well, color me shocked. Why is there a menace in a meeting hall like this? Are you bored, or? No, I am quite a busy man, the emperor replied, unaffected by Yuuki's teasing. My game against Ski is in the closing stages. I have no time to trifle with other matters. This seemed to astound Damrada. He never thought that Ludor would actually address someone lower than himself, and he never thought Velgren would allow it. Oh? Well, you better stop bumping around my place, then. Enough nonsense. I want you to join me. Agree to it, and I'll let you keep your free will. It was an order, one from far above, delivered to a lowly worm on the ground. Yuuki hated this type of person more than anything else, but for some reason, he felt like he just couldn't resist. Is this thought guidance in action? It resembles the brand of dominance Maribel tried on me, but far stronger. The power annoyed him greatly. But since Yuuki had anti-skill handy, he could cancel out any skill-driven order on him. Or he should have been able to. No. This isn't any simple power like that. Yuuki shivered as he came to that realization. It took a mighty effort not to fall to his knees. This was pure charisma, the unimaginable supremacy of a ruler capable of subjugating anything he sees. He resisted it with all his might.